With more and more militaries flexing their muscles, it's time to look at their arsenals and see what they're packing. These are some of the most powerful non-nuclear weapons used by different countries' militaries around the world, starting with the smallest and working our way up. Coming in at number 30 is Haiti, and it's kind of ironic since it doesn't really have any weapons at all. Despite recent efforts to reconstitute the Haitian armed forces, its most powerful weapons are small arms like the M16, AK-47, and FNFAL rifles. Number 29. Canada. One of the most powerful weapons in the Canadian military is the Harry DeWolf class patrol craft. It's just over 300 feet long and weighs in at almost 6,700 tons. Armed with a 25mm Mark 38 autocannon and a CH-148 Cyclone helicopter, the Harry DeWolf patrols the most ice-infested parts of Canada's Arctic regions. Number 28. Kenya. In 2008, a Ukrainian-operated cargo vessel was en route to Mombasa in Kenya when Somali pirates took her over. Inside the ship were rifles, machine guns, anti-aircraft guns, RPGs, and 33 operational T-72 tanks. After a $3.2 million ransom was paid by Ukraine, the Kenyans took custody of the tanks in a controversial move. Number 27. Ireland. Introduced in the 1990s, the FGM-148 Javelin missile launcher is a game-changer on the modern battlefields. The Irish Defence Forces have used the Javelin missile launcher since 2003. However, critics have said that the weapon's cost is too much and unnecessary. Maybe they wanted to ensure that they had more money to spend on Guinness. Number 26. Mexico. Mexico's most powerful weapon is the Black Hawk helicopter due to its usefulness in the war on drugs, sniffing out cartel hideouts. The Black Hawk can travel an impressive 183 miles per hour and has a service ceiling of almost 19,000 feet. Thanks to its advanced avionics and weaponry, the Black Hawk can carry out rocket and machine gun attacks on enemy troops. Number 25. North Korea. One of North Korea's biggest conventional weapons breakthroughs is its KN-09 multiple launch rocket system. Firing 8 300mm rockets, the KN-09 has a maximum range of up to 200 kilometers. These rockets are believed to sport high explosive fragmentation or chemical warheads. Analysts believe that the North Koreans have been able to incorporate positioning technology into KN-09 rockets to make them deadly accurate. This is important because the South Korean capital, Seoul, is just 40 kilometers from the demilitarized zone. In the event of a full-scale war, it's widely believed North Korea would subject Seoul to a massive barrage, spearheaded by KN-09 launchers. Number 24. Brazil. The Brazilian A-29 Super Tucano entered service in 2003, and it's been a hit ever since. It can fly from remote airstrips in the jungle unlike traditional jets, with a top speed of 368 miles per hour and a range of nearly 3,000 miles. The A-29 can cover large distances quickly. Armed with a 20mm cannon and two 50-caliber machine guns in the wings, the Super Tucano can provide close air support for military and police units. And though Brazil may not be as well known in the worldwide arms trade, another country is actually exporting tons of missiles that destroy armies from hundreds of miles away. Number 23. India. India has made one of recent years' most successful medium-range ballistic missiles, the BrahMos. This medium-range cruise missile has a range of around 300 to 500 kilometers and speeds of up to Mach 2.8. The BrahMos can be deployed from ships, submarines, trucks, and aircraft. It can also have one of several warheads, including an armor-piercing warhead or a submunition one that can release tiny bomblets over a wide area. The BrahMos is also cheap and interchangeable, allowing units to resupply one another in a prolonged fight. Another country with similar supply concerns for its long-range fires is the Philippines. Number 22. Philippines. With several thousand islands to defend and the looming specter of Chinese forces, the Philippines relies on its long-range HIMARS launchers. Firing various GPS-guided munitions, the HIMARS is a self-contained unit mounted on a truck chassis. Operating with just a crew of 3 people, it has the ability to strike more than 50 kilometers with standard rockets and up to 93 miles with the extended range version. HIMARS can subject enemy forces to long-range precision fires before they become a threat. With the ability to drive itself or be hauled in a plane, HIMARS is perfect for the Philippines. But the Philippines isn't the only country that can give the smackdown to China. Number 21. Australia. Australia's 3 Hobart-class destroyers sport a 5-inch main gun, 2 25mm chain guns, a 20mm close-in weapon system, 2 torpedo tubes, and a helo hangar. There's also 48 vertical launch cells on board, allowing the ship to carry up to 48 standard missiles or evolved Sea Sparrow missiles. But that's not even the most powerful part of the ship. Using the same Aegis combat system as the US, each Hobart-class destroyer can find, fix, and track dozens of air contacts up to several hundred miles away. Australia isn't the only country to build their weapons off of US systems. Number 20. Italy. Italy's attempt at recreating the M1 Abrams is called the C1 Ariete. Initially, the tank sported a 1,275 horsepower engine that limited its size to no more than 60 tons. However, a much stronger 1,600 horsepower engine meant that the tank was on par with the US M1 Abrams in terms of survivability. The Ariete has a 360-degree panoramic day and night sight, with the gunner able to merely point and shoot. The upgraded fire control systems allow for better firing on the move. Even though Italy does have a robust arms industry, the next country on the list is actually known more for its tulips than its weapons. Number 19. The Netherlands. Forming the core of the Royal Netherlands Air Force close air support missions are 28 AH-64 Apache helicopters. With the ability to take up to 23mm rounds, the Apache can eat enemy aircraft fire for breakfast. The Apache will always have a hull-mounted 30mm chain gun that can follow the pilot's eyes thanks to a special helmet the pilot can wear that allows the gun sight to follow their eyesight. But the best weapon it can carry is the Hellfire missile. Depending on the version, the Hellfire can have a range of up to 5 miles. However, not all countries follow the Dutch example of just buying foreign military equipment. Some countries make their own that have stood the test of time. Number 18. South Africa. Entering service in 1979, the Ratel infantry fighting vehicle is South Africa's best weapon. Weighing in at 20 tons, the Ratel is extremely fast for its size. The Ratel weighs so much because of its thick armor plating around its hull, bulletproof glass, and additional armored plates for the driver. The vehicle's hull is shaped like a V to deflect mine blasts. Numerous upgrades over the years have included a 90mm cannon, 60mm mortars, 81mm mortars, and a ZT-3 anti-tank guided missile. But in Southeast Asia, there is one country with an aircraft that can shred its neighbors if they wanted to. Number 17. Malaysia. The Su-30 flanker is a game-changer for Malaysia. It can climb to 56,800 feet in just 1 minute, reaching speeds of just over 1,300 miles per hour. The plane can carry 37,000 pounds of ordnance, capable of carrying a wide variety of air-to-air, air-to-ground, and anti-ship munitions. The flanker is the perfect weapon to take on almost any threat. It's also very maneuverable thanks to its thrust vectoring capabilities. The 18 Su-30s are a very potent weapon system that can go toe-to-toe with aircraft in the region, especially any fighters that China possesses, including the J-16. And that's not the only country with a weapon meant to shred the Chinese. Number 16. Singapore. In 2023, Singapore announced all 6 of its Formidable-class frigates would be receiving midlife upgrades. As part of these upgrades, the ship would get a new anti-ship missile called the Blue Spear. Measuring over 10 feet long and weighing almost 2,000 pounds, each missile has either a high-explosive or semi-armor-piercing warhead that can shred modern naval vessels. With a range of up to 290 kilometers, sailors can pre-program flight patterns before leaving the rails. Once in flight, the missile can choose from several attack profiles, including sea skimming, pop-up, or a top-down attack. But Singapore isn't the only country making the waters of the South China Sea a little more hostile. Indonesia is also doing its part. Number 15. Indonesia. The Indonesian Navy's Scorpèn class might be little, but it can pack a punch. Armed with 18 heavy torpedoes, the submarine can wreak havoc on enemy shipping. It can also fire anti-ship Exocet missiles and lay up to 30 naval mines. Newer models use air-independent propulsion. With AIP, submarines use battery cells to produce energy to keep the boats on battery power for much longer. With the addition of lithium-ion batteries, the endurance shot up to an astonishing 78 days submerged and nearly 8,000 nautical miles of range. The Indonesian Navy will become a regional powerhouse that can cause serious damage to countries like China if they choose to. But another South Pacific nation is equaling the playing field with an American aircraft. Number 14. New Zealand. New Zealand's 4 P-8 Poseidon are amazing aircrafts. Based on Boeing's iconic 737, the Poseidon is essentially a weaponized airliner, the best maritime surveillance platform on the planet. Bristling with dozens of sensors, radars, and arrays, the P-8 can detect ships and submarines from hundreds of miles away. But it can also go toe-to-toe with the enemy. The P-8 can deploy torpedoes, depth charges, anti-ship missiles, and more when getting into a fight. Combine this with its nearly 1,400-mile operational range, and the P-8 can decimate enemy fleets by itself. Back in Europe, another country is doing the same thing, but with a state-of-the-art ship. Number 13. Denmark. Entering service in 2011, the Ivar Høytveld class of frigates are the crown jewels of Denmark's navy, bristling with 32 VLS cells, stuffed with SM-2 Block 3 Alpha missiles. The Ivar Høytveld class is capable of engaging aircraft and missiles up to 100 miles away. With 2 quad packs of evolved Sea Sparrow missiles and two 35mm close-in weapon systems, the ship has more than enough defense to tackle any air threats. The ship has a 76mm deck gun and 16 Harpoon missiles for its surface warfare mission. Lastly, the ship can take out submarines with either its 2 torpedo launchers or its MH-60 Romeo helicopter. But Denmark isn't the only Nordic country ready to take on the Russians. Number 12. Norway. NASAMS stands for Norwegian Advanced Surface-to-Air Missile System. First entered service in 1997 and soon became an export success. The first reason for this is its ammunition. NASAMS can fire either AIM-120 AMRAAM or AIM-9 Sidewinders. Another major factor is its advanced Sentinel radar. With a scan range of up to 120 kilometers, the NASAMS can track air contacts from a long way away. However, the weapon is more of a defense system since its AIM-120 missiles can only engage targets up to 30 kilometers away. NASAMS' excellent tracking abilities can share data with other air defense units in real time. However, Norway isn't the only country to develop something meant to protect against incoming threats. Number 11. Finland. Entering service in 2004, the Patria armored modular vehicle has a 530 horsepower engine and road speeds up to 62 miles per hour, while hauling 25 tons of armor, weapons, and people. Base model Patrias are armed with a 105mm gun but can be outfitted with twin 120mm mortars, 40mm grenade launchers, and 7.62mm and 50 caliber machine guns. More than 1,600 are currently in service in countries like Poland, Croatia, Slovenia, Sweden, and the UAE. With Japan purchasing over 800, the Patria will likely be the most common armored vehicle on battlefields for years to come, just like this next European country's main battle tank. Number 10. Germany. The debate about whether German cars are still the best remains hot to this day. The quality of their tanks, though, is not up for debate. With its 120mm L55 smoothbore gun, the Leopard 2 has plenty of firepower to punch through targets up to several kilometers away. Combined with its 1,500 horsepower KA501 diesel engine, the Leopard 2 can get up to 45 miles per hour while still maintaining a great power-to-weight ratio. The tank has excellent survivability due to its sloped design and composite armor. Germany continues to upgrade its armor, sighting systems, fire control computers, and communication suites to maintain the tank's competitive edge, just like this next country has done with its aircraft. Number 9. Belgium. With the first deliveries of F-16s taking place in 1979, the Belgian Air Force remains one of the OG operators of the aircraft. But these airframes are decades old, and the avionics and systems on board cannot compete on a battlefield today. That's why the country conducted a midlife upgrade on them. Each plane that went into the program received structural modifications to make it airworthy for years to come. In addition, the MLU planes received various new sensors and weapons. Among these improvements are Lantern targeting pods, the capability to carry AIM-120 AMRAAM and AIM-9 missiles, and JDAMs for ground attack. And this next European country is also in the process of rebuilding. Number 8. Spain. Probably due to Spain taking too long of a siesta, their submarine force has fallen into disrepair. But all of that has recently changed with the introduction of the S-80 class of boats. While the S-80 type boats are traditional diesel-electric boats, they are modernized with air-independent propulsion, allowing them to survive up to 55 days submerged and have a range of almost 5,000 miles. Capable of firing either heavy torpedoes or Harpoon anti-ship missiles, the S-80 class can wreak havoc on enemy fleets. Combined with its active and passive sonar arrays, these submarines will be a vital asset in ensuring NATO access to the Mediterranean. But the S-80 isn't the only new asset NATO has gained in recent years. Number 7. Sweden. Introduced in 1996, Sweden's JAS-39 Gripen multi-role fighter aircraft is one of the most advanced fighters in NATO's arsenal. With a max takeoff weight of just over 30,000 pounds, this aircraft can get in the fight with over 15,000 pounds of fuel and ordnance. It has the ability to carry a whole smorgasbord of bombs and missiles, from AIM-120 AMRAAM to Sidewinders and guided bombs. Equipped with jamming pods, electronic warfare systems, and a robust data link, the Gripen is a fast, reliable, and deadly plane. With all these upgrades, it can still beat out similar aircraft like the Su-35 Flanker with ease. But Russia doesn't need to just worry about the high north. Number 6. Greece. Greece has partnered with various countries to provide it with some powerful weaponry. Arguably the most powerful weapon would be the U.S. military's MGM-140 Army Tactical Missile System. The ATACMS is a single-stage solid propellant rocket with either a high explosive, fragmentation, or submunition warhead. With a range of 165 kilometers, the ATACMS is an amazing weapon system that delivers pinpoint precision fires in theater. But unlike the Greeks, there's another European country that may very well use its American-provided weapons in combat if Russia decided to do something stupid. Number 5. Poland. Poland has been busy ridding itself of its legacy Soviet aircraft, and the aircraft they chose to replace them with was the F-35 fighter. With the F-35's advanced suite of onboard sensors, the plane can conduct air-to-air combat, close air support, intelligence-gathering missions, and electronic warfare all in one. The F-35 can deploy around 24 different weapons, from AIM-120, AMRAAM air-to-air missiles to guided bombs, cluster munitions, and more. With Poland's fleet of 32 F-35s entering service in 2026, the Poles are poised to be ready to assist NATO in thwarting any Russian attack, just like this next country with its powerful tank. Number 4. United Kingdom. While the UK's defense industry has gotten smaller over the years, it does not mean it hasn't produced some highly capable equipment. Among the most powerful of the UK's current weapon systems are its vaunted Challenger 2 main battle tanks. Armed with a powerful L-30 120mm rifled cannon, it can take on practically any tank on the battlefield today and win. The highly classified Chobham armor, a composite armor composed of various metals, fibers, and other materials, gives the American Abrams and British Challenger tanks their strength. But despite how great the Challenger tank is, the next country on this list has one of the most powerful weapons made outside of the US. Number 3. France. The United States is not the only country in the world to operate a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the Charles de Gaulle. This aircraft carrier is the flagship of the French fleet and its most powerful non-nuclear asset. Powered by 2 K-15 pressurized water reactors, the carrier could launch up to 40 fighter aircraft with its catapult system daily. The carrier's air wing includes Dassault Rafale fighters, 2 E-2D Hawkeye surveillance aircraft, and 2 Dauphin helicopters. From 2001 to 2007, the ship conducted several combat deployments alongside American carriers, launching countless sorties into Afghanistan. This experience and the carrier's technology will make any of France's enemies, including Russia, think twice. Number 2. Russia. If France ever did get into it with Russia, they would be up against the father of all bombs, the largest non-nuclear bomb in service today. The father of all bombs is supposed to detonate with the power of 44 tons of TNT, about 4 times as powerful as the American-made mother of all bombs, or MOAB. The FOAB is a thermobaric bomb, which means that when it explodes, its fuel source sucks in air around it to ignite. But with just a grainy video from 2007 as proof, the Russians may not even have it in service. But the last country on this list has a weapon that is very real and much scarier than this supposed mystery bomb. Number 1. United States. While the U.S. arsenal is vast, few other systems can match the B-2 Spirit heavy bomber. The B-2 is equipped with numerous stealth technologies, including radar-absorbing paint, innovative wing design, serrated engine exhausts, and many more classified ones. With a nearly 6,900-mile range, the B-2 can penetrate any airspace in the world undetected. The B-2 can drop up to 16 Mark 84 general-purpose bombs fitted with Joint Direct Attack munition packages, or it can fire up to 16 AGM-129 air-launched cruise missiles or AGM-158 Joint Attack Standoff munitions. If the target is below ground, the B-2 can drop massive ordnance penetrators to obliterate any subterranean targets. Because of all this, the B-2 is the world's most powerful conventional weapon in service today. Now go watch Most Powerful Military in 2024 ranked, or this video instead.